And I was gonna take the high road and just say thank you and leave.
Don't take the high road, Paul.
But I have something to say to you! I've waited a long time to say this! I almost forgot about you!
Outside interference here, in my moment of glory. And I'm living a nightmare, and I am the cream.
One more time for old time's sake! Right there, so the whole world can see us!
And would you look at that? Another week, another edition of Oh No Wrestling. My name is Owen. I'm the Shart Break Kid. Alongside me tonight is the king of bong style, my good friend Duncan. How you doing, Duncan?
Doing great, buddy. How you doing?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Apart from going through a series of seizures earlier this evening, I'm doing okay.
Well, I think we need to elaborate for the fans and let them know that those seizures are not medically induced seizures. They are, in fact, Samoan racism-induced seizures.
Oh, it was more than just the Samoan racism tonight, my friend. This was.
Oh, it definitely was.
I would love to say it was all the Samoan racists' fault, but just the Samoans' fault. But no, it was not.
I was like, you're the Samoan racist.
Yeah. No, first off, folks, we're recording this on a Tuesday evening, post-Smackdown Live, and that should give you a clue as to what the hell we're talking about. Jesus Christ, what the fuck was going on, Duncan, in that show?
Oh, my God. Was it the worst wrestling show you've ever seen?
It is definitely the worst wrestling show I've seen since I started back up watching wrestling. There is not even a question in my mind that it is. And this is...
No, I would completely agree with you in that.
I would rather have watched an episode of Main Event or Superstars or even Impact Wrestling. Because at least with Impact Wrestling, I couldn't have guessed every single fucking outcome to the one of 4 matches that they had on the show.
I was going to say there were only 4 matches.
It's like they forgot what they were doing. It's like they completely took everything that they know to make a show successful and did exactly the opposite.
Absolutely. Everything from the... Dude, I was like, yeah, the opening was going to be good. Like, you had the opening of, Daniel Bryan in the ring. Anytime I see Daniel Bryan in the ring, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
And then...
Well... I mean, first continue. But what I was going to say is that I was even like disliking Daniel Bryan. I should not.
That's exactly where I was going.
Oh my God!
No, like at the beginning of it, it was like, okay, we're fine, and then, dude, it just got bad.
D. Bryan was just selling his soul left and right to the Divas show.
Okay, the total Bellas plug, like that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. Also, like, dude, I don't know why did like 3 of the 6 women get entrance music, and then the other 3 just randomly showed up in the ring with mics?
Yeah. Because they knew they were going to give them all, I guess, their entrance music later on in the evening. They didn't want to do that twice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Because they did.
I don't know.
With the match that was set up basically by the promo, every single one of them got it got intro music.
But also, dude, like, I would have rather that and then just don't give any of them intros for the little fucking, like, quote-unquote round table, whatever that was.
Whatever that was, yeah, exactly.
But, dude, like, it was bad, and Like, dude, I love those women, but man, it was like they forgot how to fucking speak.
Becky, I mean, it's like, is she devolving? I don't even know what's happening.
She got better there for a little bit, man.
And it's painful to hear it, man. Like, why would you open your show with that? Like, that is not a good show open.
Exactly.
I mean, SmackDown has a pretty weak women's division, let's be honest.
Totally.
So to put, I mean, I understand it's a different time in the WWE, and you want to put faith in the women, and sure, you can with certain people like Charlotte's and your Sashas and your Baileys, but you can't.
But Becky is a great worker. Like, she's a fantastic worker. Natalia, I guess, is okay. Like, dude, I don't know what happened, but, like, seriously, you've got one super strong female performer on that show, and all the rest of them are just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole thing
you got
was...
Becky, and then, dude, the next one that, like, I don't care about Nikki because I'm not 12 years old, but, like, the next woman in line that I actually could remotely give a shit about on SmackDown is Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss, at least she has the great bitch vibe down, and I don't know that she's great in the ring. She's a female wrestler, she's
like,
she doesn't do anything outstanding. She's okay,
I don't know that she's had enough opportunity to really, like, put on a 4 or 5 star match. You know what I mean? I don't know that she's capable of it, first of all, but I don't know that she's not.
And by that token, then you have, who else do you got? You got fucking Carmella and Naomi. Now, Naomi's, they're trying to rebrand. I can see her sort of working a little bit.
And that's fine. Like, I'm not interested, but I'm not completely disinterested.
Right.
But man,
Carmella just needs a good slap across the face.
Oh, she's just bad.
Yeah, she's not even, like, bad in a way that, like, oh, you hate her because she's so good at what she's doing. She's just not good at what she's doing at all.
No, not at all. Like, not even in the least bit. Like, trying to do the whole female Enzo thing is just not, it doesn't work.
It's not going to do her any favors either, is it?
No, it's definitely not, especially when she can't do it well.
It's so transparent as well, It's not... We get it. You used to, be their valet or whatever. That's cool, but now your whole gimmick is just basically ripping off Enzo's. Like, the fans see right through that, and it's just not... Like, you got to put your own spin on it. You can't do it exactly like Enzo.
Right. Exactly.
My question...
I mean, and again, what works in NXT doesn't always work on the main roster.
This is very true. My question is, with that whole thing, with the opening, why aren't you opening with that AJ? You could have opened with that end segment that was AJ and Dean. Like, you literally could have opened with it, and it would have been better. At least it would have... Like, oh, something could happen later in the night with AJ and Dean, even if there isn't a match
they make
scheduled.
You sit through that turd of a show to get to that at the end.
Exactly. Or you even would have more of a chance of getting people to listen and stick around if you throw, like, the tag teams out there and they have a round table or whatever that is.
I mean, I understand they're wanting to put emphasis on the women's division, and I don't have a problem with that. I just think if you're going to put the emphasis on the women's division, they've got to be able to back it up. And
they've got to be good still.
They've
got to be good still.
Yes.
You can't... There are some amazing female performers in the WWE as a whole. I am not doubting that one bit, and they have come a long way since the days of, the Divas belt, and even before that, bra and panties matches and all that shit. But there's still
Dude, even
only
when we were teenagers, did the bra and panties matches ever do like?
no, they didn't do anything for me. Like, ooh,
Okay, I was like, that was pretty much for Vince and Jerry Lawler, right?
I'm guessing. I mean, puppies, like I got way more enjoyment out of seeing like pictures of Trish on the internet than I did, any of that.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously that's a whole different story for a different segment of this show.
We're probably a different show altogether.
Maybe a whole different show altogether. I don't know how many shows we can do about wrestling, but I'm sure that it can be more than one.
Oh no, I'm already too busy. I can't take on any more shows. But no, like you said, it was a turd of a show. There was no real rhyme or reason to like anything. Dean's being all
got like almost half the goddamn show.
Yeah, they don't need to be getting half the show when it's such a small roster of talented women. And I mean, I guess what else do they have to pad it out with? You can only do so many backstage segments with Dean pouring sugar in people's coffees. And
fucking prankster Dean is back.
Oh, prankster Dean! Look at him! He likes his coffee with like all the sugar in it.
He's funny.
Yeah. You asked a great question to me. You're like, "How did I?" You loved Dean 2 months ago, and you're like, "How did they?"
I'm like, "How did they
make
make me hate Dean in 2 months?" I don't know how they did it.
You're absolutely right, and I was just coming round on Dean. Because I didn't like Dean before, and now I'm just like,
I know.
I think they're positioning him to pass that title over sooner rather than later.
I feel like you're probably right, and I feel like, man, like I don't know, maybe his, dude, I'm like we always saw him as a temporary champion,
without a doubt, yeah.
So
maybe that,
I don't know.
Maybe that's coming to fruition. Maybe what would that be? Like 2-month reign, something like that.
3 maybe.
Is it 3?
Maybe, I don't know. He had it. I don't know. We could look it up if we cared enough, but
yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm not going to
do that either because I don't care about the journalistic integrity of this show at this moment.
That's not what we do. We're here to bitch and moan about the shit quality of, last night's SmackDown Live.
Tonight's SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
This week's SmackDown Live, whatever you want to call it, the go-home show before Backlash, before your first individual brand pay-per-view, and it's just weak. Incredibly weak. There was until the last 5 minutes of the show, there was not one aspect of it that made me go, "Oh man, I really got to tune in on Sunday."
Yeah, definitely not. The Bray Wyatt promo was a decent Bray Wyatt promo.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it didn't really make me want to get invested in the match between him and Orton. Like there's not really much there.
I don't know that there's anything that can make me want to invest in that match.
Well, I think it's just thrown together for lack of nothing else to do for the two guys. And if they don't have Bray win this match, I'm gonna be pissed, honestly, because
I am too.
There's just no reason for that to keep burying him in this way and to just fuck up.
Not if you're trying to establish him. And besides, he is like the only other. Dude, he's the only other fucking real heel on the roster besides AJ. I guess The Miz, but The Miz is kind of like that chicken shit heel.
Yeah, it's a different style for sure.
Right.
Speaking of The Miz,
so,
that was that was a very boring match just because you knew he was going to beat Apollo Crews. You knew it from the moment that match started.
Of course,
title on the line or not. It's just okay. Of course, Miz is going to win. Dolph's going to get involved somehow and cost the match.
Dolph on commentary was bad.
Yeah, Dolph on commentary was bad. He's I'm losing respect for him weekly. It might not be all his fault, but I'm just uninterested with him. I don't want to see Dolph. Like, who the fuck wants to see Dolph?
Right?
You got, the whole fucking only the Usos can fuck up a swerve heel turn. So kudos to them for making that just boring as shit. I guess they're gonna use.
Yeah, I mean, you hate the Usos regardless of what they do,
but no one cared. Like, there wasn't a lot of like ooh in the crowd. Like there was no.
There was a little bit, dude. Okay, honestly though, let's be realistic. By that point in the show,
they were bored out of their minds.
We were bored out of our minds. There was nothing that they could do to bring us back. In the arena, it's always a different vibe. Even if it's a weak-ass show on TV, they might have been having a lot more fun than we think they were having. But, dude, we were so checked out.
Yeah, there was no coming back.
No.
I wanted to, actually get behind seeing, Heath come out and Rhino. And even by that point, you're just like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly your point. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's insane that the most interesting part, apart from, AJ Styles, but the most interesting part of SmackDown Live is Heath goddamn Slater. Like, how
goddamn Slater.
How is this fucking possible? I love that they did have his actor kids there, like his kids that are, obviously the actors, like playing his kids in the front row, and I don't know if you noticed, like 2 of them were in suits, and then the rest of them were dressed like hillbillies. Like they gave them all like their own little personalities, I think. And then
which is awesome.
And then his fake wife was there.
Oh yeah, I mean, like that was amusing.
But when that's one of the best parts of your show, like that's a highlight. Like that's
right. That's a problem.
That is a huge problem. So get it the fuck together, Shane and Daniel, because God damn it. And that's the thing too. Like this show was probably what, a D.
Oh, that was definitely a D.
It might have been a D minus, and
it was such a dud, bro. Like it was just such a fucking like, really?
There was literally like nothing exciting that happened in the 2 hours. Like it was all crap. Anyway, I will say though that's night and day to Monday Night Raw last night, which was probably a B.
Yeah, an overall B. No, it was good.
And we'll do a little bit of an overview on Raw later, but it's night and day to, like, I guess, like, can you blame it 100% on the rosters? No, I think it has something to do with it. Like, what do you attribute to this? I mean, is it just writing?
I don't know. Like, how do you even...
Like, they must have 2 different staffs of creative, in a sense, right? Because those are 2 vastly different shows in just, like, every single way. But so vastly different that one was almost defaming the fucking product.
Yeah, dude, like, that episode of SmackDown was seriously like it was channeling Impact Wrestling.
It was... everything that a go home show for a pay-per-view shouldn't be. It's everything.
Dude, and we made jokes in our thread in our private, not really private, but our invite Oh No Wrestling group on Facebook, which please, you should all join that. Oh No space wrestling, and we'll approve you if you don't suck.
I think it's a public group. I don't think it's private, is it?
I don't know. It might not be. It might
not be. I don't know. I'll try and make it public. I think it's public. I'll look at it now. But yeah, what he's saying is that we do have a Facebook group that we. It's public on Facebook. It should be just facebook.com/groups/ohno wrestling. And in there you'll find, we've been doing these pretty awesome things. We've been doing almost forum-style threads where everybody's hopping in and talking about Raw and SmackDown, and we'll do it for pay-per-views live. So kind of getting real-time joke action is what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly. It's real-time assholery.
It's pretty accurate. But no, what were you saying about the thread?
I was saying now what was my point? Somebody made the mention of Vince Russo, and I'm like, no, he would have written a better show than that.
Yeah. And that's just horrible to say, because there were so many horrible things about the fucking Vince Russo era.
Dude, and
both in WWE and WCW.
But, like, dude, that show, even the wrestling wasn't good.
No, exactly. Like, even the wrestling was sloppy and not...
And uninteresting. Like, that was the thing, man. Like, the whole fucking show was just uninteresting.
Uninspired, uninteresting. Everybody was just going through the motions and fucking up the motions.
Just collecting a paycheck.
Yeah. Like, Vince needs to walk into that locker room, and I think he needs to slap a couple people around.
I mean, he does. And that's the thing, is like, we've had a couple of weeks of really good SmackDowns. So for this to take such an abrupt nosedive is just so disheartening.
I completely agree. Speaking of that Facebook group that we were just throwing out there's a couple things that came up in that this week that I figured we should just kind of roll into. I like bringing topics from that actual group and talking about them on the show, because I think we can get, a little bit more in depth on the show than we can just, typing on Facebook. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Somebody asked and was kind of posing hey, we should all try and get a donation together, and I think, is it something that exists, that like a group?
No. What they're trying to do is get the WWE to make Connor the Crusher a playable character, downloadable character in 2K17. So it's like, basically, it's like, hey, if you make this happen, we'll pay $1 or $2 for it.
Oh, okay, for the downloaded content. Like, hey, yeah, we'll absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Right. That makes complete sense, but there's a few different things about that. Now, Connor the Crusher is obviously poor little Connor, who they play on every other show, who.
Right. What was it? Connor's Cure.
Connor's Cure. Yeah, they named the charities the children's cancer charity.
It's a child cancer fund.
Yeah.
So this kid was like a huge WWE fan. Had brain cancer. Passed away from brain cancer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, made a huge impact on all these superstars. So. It's a big thing that I think Triple H and Stephanie started the foundation.
It's a great idea, and it's awesome, and everybody loves Connor. I mean, it's super cute. It brings any wrestling fan, any non-wrestling fan.
Nobody wants to see kids with cancer. Nobody wants to see anybody with cancer, let alone kids. But like,
it's a little weird adding him to the wrestling game as a playable.
Well, dude, he was fucking 7 years old, like 6 or 7 years old. So I don't know that you can, like, how do you do that?
I don't know.
Realistically,
without making it like really, really stupid and unrealistic.
Now, bearing in mind, this is the same company that made Fred Durst a playable character in their video game.
Yeah, exactly. If Fred Durst can get in the game, then goddamn it, maybe Connor should get in the game.
And I will guarantee
if Fred Durst got in the game, I deserve to be in the game.
Connor has more athletic ability than fucking Fred Durst.
Yeah, this is probably true. He knows more about wrestling, that's for sure.
Well, that's for damn sure. So I guess if you put El Torito or
Yeah.
Hornswoggle, or like I guess if you put them in the games, you could technically
You could
do it,
figure
but
out
man,
a
it's
skin
gonna
and
just.
yeah, it's just gonna be weird. It's like you're playing as a dead cancer kid. Like, no, that's such a bummer. Like,
I don't even think that's the issue. Like, even if it was a live kid, like, dude, it's a fucking kid against the Big Show. No.
oh, and that's the
No.
first thing people do when they download him is they put him up against the Big Show, right? Or Mark Henry.
Dude,
or
and then
somebody.
and then you're an asshole and you're choke slamming a cancer child over and over through the announce table.
Now I want it to happen so bad because
I mean, look, like, I guess we need to tweet it. Like, I get, like, really, I'm indifferent as long as the proceeds of that download go directly to the charity and not to any video game company or anything like that. Awesome.
Someone also suggested, which is probably like a little bit more. Sorry.
God damn it. Owen.
Give me the giggles. Hang on. But somebody suggested that like he might be able to be like a manager, right? Like, I don't really play wrestling games, but can managers have much interaction, or are they just there? Like,
Oh
what?
yeah, there's shit in like them. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could happen. I could see that.
Like his specialties, he just makes you so sad. You just lay down and like take the pin for him. Like,
dude, I don't know. Like, I play the wrestling games every year, and the managers are really just more of an annoyance than anything. Like, they don't ever
do they just
really
get in the
interact.
way?
They just kind of stay there. Like, and you can have it so that they'll interfere, but you know what I mean? It's not. Ain't nobody pulling Mr. Fuji, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, damn. See, they do need to be pulling Mr. Fuji's. All right, so we're sort of kind of on the fence with this. I'm going with that they should definitely add Connor to the game.
I think they should add it as long as, like I said, as long as the proceeds of that download go to the charity.
Yeah, exactly. If that's something that can, generate money for the charity, why the hell not? And
Absolutely.
I'm sure who puts out 2K17 and all those games? What company is that? Is it EA or
2K?
Is that just a company 2K? I don't know video games. I don't know.
Yeah, 2K Sports.
Oh, my bad. But I'm sure like even they would probably recognize that, right? And be like, yeah, why the fuck not? Like, I don't know if they're making money.
They
off.
make a shitload of money. They make a shitload of money off the video game anyway. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it.
Yeah, and they have the contract with the WWE, which I imagine that's like a huge deal to have a video game company to have that contract.
Well, because for years as a wrestling video game fan, like I was like, they make realistic wrestling, or they make realistic basketball, football, soccer, baseball simulations. NBA 2K13, NFL, Madden, whatever. Like, why don't we have an actual good wrestling game? Because the majority of them have been kind of fucking crappy.
Yeah, I was never a fan growing up of wrestling games. Really, like they were fun for like an hour, and then it just, I don't know. They always lost their playability. And then
yeah, see, and I disagree, because I can play wrestling games for hours and I get like lost in the storylines, where I will literally sit on my ass for 8 hours and just like go through career mode and not get bored with it.
PlayStation 2 ones. Who was doing them back then? Was it not? It wasn't obviously 2K then. Who was doing them before them?
I don't know, probably like
989 or
THQ.
Maybe. I'm sure someone out there is yelling at us right now because they know all
I hope they are.
information.
You can go to facebook.com/group/Ono Wrestling and you can yell at us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that whole group is for.
Exactly.
But moving on. We do want to just address a couple of things that happened this week as well. The after Raw went off the air. No, you know what? We're going to talk about this later. That's different. That's different. Definite one was a poll that got placed, and this is something we can also probably talk about later, but I think we'll just bring up now, is a poll that was said, who's more likely to turn face in the coming months? Or coming month, I guess. I don't know that it really matters that much, the time frame. But Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, or Triple H and Kevin Owens. I don't know why he didn't just put Triple H on its own, but I understand. Well, no, I do understand because of the end of the previous week's Raw, but Seth Rollins is the obvious choice, right?
Oh, the definite obvious choice.
There's signs of that happening on Raw already. I don't think that there's any chance in hell that Kevin Owens turns face.
I don't think so. Kevin Owens is too polarizing. Like, you know what I mean? A majority of people like Seth.
Correct. And Triple H is also, he's always going to be that authority figure. So you're never going to be able to really not have him be. He trips. So yeah, Seth. If anybody on that list, it's definitely Seth, and it's actually going to be good for him. I think a face turn is a smart move for Seth at this point.
I agree.
Paige was.
I agree. Well, and they also need more baby faces on the roster, like solid baby faces on the roster.
They do. I mean, they probably need more wrestlers on the roster, to be honest with you. But
no, it's not SmackDown. Raw has plenty of wrestlers.
No, that's a good point.
Like Raw actually had some good matches this week too.
We were all shocked to learn the news of Paige was released from the WWE.
Shocked.
Oh my gosh, that didn't see that one coming at all.
And appalled. Shocked and appalled.
I will care about this for another. You lost it. That's.
Yep, exactly. I was going to say you cared about it for longer than I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll probably.
And like I said, dude, and I like Paige, but the problem is she was overshadowed by the women's revolution.
Yeah, it was really bad timing, I think, for her.
Well, because she got shit on. She was supposed to be the one like leading it, and then it was just like, haha, Bella's win.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's all this new talent coming up that's going to take the spot where you would have been in that situation beforehand. And
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see, Paige and Del Rio go do the TNA thing. I think they'll do it. If they do it, they'll do it to where they don't really sign a no compete, and I think he'll take her, wherever he goes, and they'll think there'll be a thing together. Like maybe I don't know if he was the 100% influence to get her to leave, but I wouldn't also be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So. It's gonna be interesting to see where they pop up. I know she lives in Orlando, so that's why the TNA thing is such a distinct possibility in my eyes. That's
right.
Obviously, TNA tapes here, and it would be just a logical get right back to work. Like I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 weeks, when the tapings come up, or 3 weeks, if she's there. That would.
I wouldn't either. But dude, here's the problem, man. Like TNA is inaccessible as fuck.
Yeah,
I have
the channel.
I have a really good digital cable package. I cannot fucking watch TNA.
You don't get the pop, whatever.
No, I don't get pop. I don't get Destination America. I don't get any of the last 3 channels that
they've been on.
TNA has been on. So, you gotta want it. You gotta want to watch TNA. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, the talent is better when they make it to the WWE roster.
And the talent is already showing some of those guys. NXT is a better product than TNA. It is simply a better product.
Totally.
Do you agree?
Totally.
And case in point, we've got Bobby Roode coming over. We've got Joe coming over. I mean, AJ Styles, obviously he didn't go to NXT, but product of the TNA system.
Still came, product of TNA for years.
So that being said, NXT does have its next takeover in Toronto. I think it's the first time they've gone to Canada, right?
Probably.
I think it's the first. Well, maybe it's the first time a takeover's been in Canada. So
Yeah, I'm sure they've done some shows in Canada.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
they're
I'm
doing
sure
some
they have.
shows on the West Coast too, and then they're going to Japan. Like NXT is starting to become a global presence.
which is really kind of cool, you know, that they, especially for the WWE, it's really cool that they have this secondary product that is
Hell yeah!
becoming a money maker. So, but no, the question is, in my mind, who does our champion Nakamura defend his title against? Is it the hometown boy Bobby Roode, who's only wrestled, I think, one like pay-per-view match, and then or does Samoa Joe get his rematch in Toronto?
I mean, I think it almost has to be Joe, doesn't it?
It does. It just seems like such
Are you
a.
going to feed Nakamura? Are you going to feed Nakamura Bobby Roode? Right? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to take away some of that shine that Bobby Roode has right now?
Yeah, that would be dumb. Unless Bobby Roode wins it in Toronto, and then you fucking shit all over Nakamura. I have a bad feeling.
I was going to say, because then Bobby Roode is the first one to defeat Nakamura.
Yeah, that would be weird too. But then I feel like you put Joe up against him. Then does Joe take the two losses? Does that happen to Nakamura? I don't know that happens either. I feel like they might trade the belt back and forth for a bit. For some reason, I don't think.
You think Joe gives Nakamura his first loss?
I think he might, and I have this weird feeling that I just don't know that Vince is sold on Joe for whatever reason, and maybe it's the TNA thing, but
I don't know that Vince is sold on Joe or Nakamura.
Definitely not. Yeah, I don't think he's sold on either one of them. I guess that's more Triple H's side of decision making, but I don't see them bringing Joe up like they have brought up people that have been champion and gotten beaten and brought up in the past before. I don't see that as the case. Now, Joe's, I think, been relatively absent from NXT for a little while. I actually I'm behind on NXT, so I couldn't really tell you. He might have popped up.
He wasn't on the last NXT.
I know he got his jaw. I know he got his jaw legit broken by Nakamura in their match, so that probably plays a role into it. But at the same time, even if that hadn't happened, I don't think they were bringing up Joe that soon. I don't know why. I just don't.
No, I don't think they were bringing him up yet either. But I mean, I think that they. I don't know. I think that they will, and I think that if they do, that Joe goes to SmackDown.
That would be a smart move at this point. They should have Joe on SmackDown. He would be a great heel over there. I do, however, think that NXT needs the help in keeping him there for a bit as well. And it's why I kind of say that I think Nakamura and Joe are going to have this back and forth thing for a while. Now they might not be trading the belt every time, but I think they're going to have a few more matches in NXT before either one of them like really moves on to a different feud. That's just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, obviously, but but then that begs the question of who's Bobby Roode fighting. Now I know there's some rumors about some recent acquisitions, even some from TNA that might be coming aboard. So we'll see if maybe that even plays a role, or does Roode? I don't know. Is it Rude Aries? Is it what do you do with him? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
It's an interesting question. I think NXT has to make some very, very decisive moves in their booking and how they operate in this next couple months, because they run the risk of because of the draft. They're going to have a problem, I think, in keeping great content alive week in, week out. Now they seem to have overcome this before in the past, so hopefully I'm wrong and they can continue to do so. Right? That's all I gotta say about that.
I mean, I hope you are correct about that. And I want to see, man, like, I don't know, after tonight's SmackDown, I'm like, God damn, like, what? How is NXT such a better product? It's like, yeah, NXT only has an hour, but dude, in that hour, like, they just put on a superior product to what SmackDown did tonight.
And
that's for damn sure.
Most shows they'll put on 4 matches too in an hour.
That's what I'm saying.
It's also unnecessary how much
much
recap fucking SmackDown's doing.
How much recap and how much backstage? Like, we had 2 backstage AJ segments. You had 2 backstage fucking Dean segments. Like, even if they were small, it's like those were enough.
One was enough. One was enough for either. Yeah.
One was, yeah.
And I love backstage segments too. Like, I love that shit.
I do too. I do too. All right, let's. One other talking point that I kind of want to touch on a little bit, and maybe 2, but one for sure. The rumor going around is that CM Punk and Colt Cabana have had a falling out.
You know, I've heard stuff about it. I know they've like defriended each other on Twitter. Ooh.
Right. And if that's all you're going on, like, if that's literally all the information you have, it's like, well, that's not really, who cares, you know?
True. I also have heard Colt Cabana say that CM Punk is a very hard person to be a friend with. You know, he said
absolutely.
He said that plenty of times. I think maybe the lawsuit is playing into this a little bit too. That maybe CM Punk's a little, I don't know. I see it as Punk versus Cabana all the way. Not, you know what I mean? Like, Punk's the one that's saying fuck you, Colt, for whatever reason. Because Colt's such a nice guy, I don't think he would.
Exactly. I mean,
but does it make me sort of happy that they're no longer friends? Yeah, you know what? It kind of does.
Yeah, exactly.
What is? Do you know more about it than I do, though? Like, is that the extent?
Like, I don't. The only thing I know that apparently Colt went backstage at Monday Night Raw.
Oh, and Punk wasn't happy about that.
And it really pissed him off because he viewed it as being detrimental to their case in the lawsuit. He might not be wrong about that, but honestly, like, let's be real. Punk deserves to lose that lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you listen to that interview, like, it's like, that's pretty much the definition of slander.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So, I mean, and yeah, you can vent your opinion all you want, but you have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, that was not venting your opinion. Like, that was claiming that everything was a fact. That was claiming medical negligence. So
that's like, that guy's fucking profession, dude. And
well, and not only that, I mean, even if Punk is right, if he had an issue with it, he should have taken it up legally instead of just running his mouth on a podcast.
Yeah.
Which would have legal repercussions against him. You know what I mean? Like, he probably had a case. He probably had a case against the doctor and the WWE before that podcast ever aired.
But then that podcast aired, and all of a sudden it
became a whole different thing.
Yep. Yeah, you're completely right. Do we want to actually talk about this last one? How sort of well, obviously this is going to be divisive, but Pro Wrestling Insider ranked Roman Reigns as the number 1 wrestler of the year.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, I don't know. Like, I feel like that I feel like they did that just to cause a reaction.
Which kind of good on him. I kind of like that from time to time.
Well, right, but I mean, like, the top 500 list is supposed to be those of the best wrestlers in the world, right? So you
not
can't
necessarily
like,
who had the best year, or
not who had the best year, because what was it? Either a 2 or 3-time WWE champion during the time that they were looking at shit like that, but he was not
the best
the
wrestler.
Best. No. So, do I agree with it? No. Am I like, meh about it? No.
No.
I'm not. I think that I'm like, yeah, I get why you did it, but at the same time, I don't think that,
who would go
I
at
don't
the
think
top
that
for
that's
you?
warranted.
Who would go at the top for you?
For me, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who had, over the last year, like, AJ has consistently brought the house down.
I was gonna say AJ on my side. I think he's the best wrestler right now.
I mean, regardless, it wouldn't be Roman.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't.
But then again, I wouldn't not have Roman in the top 10 or 20 at that.
No, I think
you know
he's
what I mean?
top 10.
Because I don't hate Roman.
Yeah, maybe top 20. Maybe top 20. But
yeah,
it's, these are the same people that also would get super pissed. I'm sure, and I know John Cena has been, but if John was up there too.
Right. Well, we also haven't looked at the rankings to see where John.
I'd love to see where. Yeah, I'd love to look at the rankings, see where John's at, see at least the top 20. Like, we'll get a hold of that. Do you know when is it actually out, that issue?
I don't know. I don't know if it's out or if it's a digital only thing. Like, I know the digital copy is out, so I would imagine that the hard copy, if they still print it, is out.
Yeah, no, but we'll get the list at least and we'll kind of go through the list for the next week or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Do the top 20. Do you want to do a little Raw overview?
No, I think we need to I mean, a quick one, but I think we definitely need to do Backlash predictions over Raw. We've kind of touched on our Raw boner.
No, obviously, I did want to just, obviously mention a couple of things about, the introduction of the show was really good in the fact, I thought there was some actually pretty quality acting from Mick and Stephanie. I'm not even kidding. I thought it was pretty well done.
Right, that was good.
I thought KO's coronation and celebration was really cool. Him looking back at his own pyro going off, at the ramp like a boss.
Right.
Just he's taking it all in. He's looking at it because.
I mean, as he should, because it's one of those places that a lot of people told him that he would never end up.
Dreamed about it his whole life, and it might be his. I mean, it won't be, but. You never ever know. That could be the only time that ever happens, and it's a lesson for us all to sort of just take those moments in for sure. The fact is, they need to keep Jericho and Kevin Owens together as long as they possibly can.
I agree.
They fucking
Dude, and I'm just
together.
looking at these notes, and look at how many matches there were on that Raw versus the 4 matches.
Now, granted, a few of those were squash matches.
But some of those matches on fucking SmackDown were squash matches too, or squash match lengths.
Yeah. We got
so.
I don't know. I liked seeing Bo come back. That was a huge shocker. I didn't.
I liked that. I liked that as well.
He was mad too.
Well, yeah. I mean, because they were probably like, "Hey, go out there and show us something, or you're fired."
Right.
I mean, I think that Cesaro comes back and wins the next 4 in a row.
I think he does too. Either that, or he comes back and wins the next 3, and then Sheamus takes the last one. Something,
Yeah,
that might be, which would suck, but you could see.
Yeah, but because I don't want to see Sheamus back in the title picture, but whatever. The Enzo and Big Cass and the Shining Stars match was something.
It was. I don't mind them having a feud. for some reason. Like
I don't either, but like I don't know, Cass. Like I'm a big Cass and Enzo fan, but they almost lost me this week.
That was a pretty shitty promo. The imaginary baby thing. It was there for the sake of it. It was there to make they didn't have anything to say. They were just there, fucking goofing off, and I get it, but
yeah,
I kind of like that they lost to Epico.
I do
Primo.
too. I do too. I'd like to see a little bit more.
And it gives the Shining Stars like a chance to actually like work. Like they're never going. Just being used correctly. Like they're not going to be liked. They're never going to be liked. They're never going to be top billed guys. But you can do something with them for sure. Like there's not. Maybe it gave me some hope for the future in that. What did you think? A lot of people have been hating on the Gallows and Anderson Old Day thing. And I go back and forth.
I liked it at first. Like I liked it watching it. Like I giggled, but then like also partway through it, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like the first couple minutes of it, it was good, and then it just dragged on too long, and there's never any fucking payoff for Gallows and Anderson to be legitimate badasses.
They're turning them into a comedy act, and that's what they need to avoid. They can be comedic and still be badasses, but they don't need to be a comedy act.
Right, because this is just not good.
Which is like the same as Dean almost. Like, Dean can have a funny moment here or there, but still be like this crazy
but it's better
dude.
It's better when you're not trying to force the humor, when you're just letting it be a natural reaction.
Someone in the back knows that they're funny dudes in real life, and they figured that out in the locker room, and they're like, well, let's just do that. And on the, it's lazy is what it is. It's lazy.
It totally is.
We have to say, what are you doing, WWE? Putting Titus on commentary? That's worse of an idea than putting Ziggler on commentary. Don't do it anymore. Also, end the fucking Darren Young Titus thing. It's dumb. No one cares. Braun Strowman versus Sin Cara. That didn't actually that match. If you watch
that was a botch by the ref.
I got a bit of a theory on this though. I think that might have been stomped by the ref because I have a theory. I know about Sin Cara and how he's been in like backstage brawls and like he's known for shooting on wrestlers. And I feel like Braun probably fucking did something stupid and caught him, and Sin Cara went after him once or twice and like got a couple real shots in there, and the ref just counted it out to end the match.
It could have been.
Yeah, but that's me probably reading way too much into it.
I don't think that happened, but I will say that, dude, like as much as I love Sasha Banks, I had a big problem. I have a big problem with the Miss Piggy reference.
I had a big problem with the Miss Piggy reference because it's first off, it's pretty. It's insensitive to a woman's weight, number one, and number two.
Well, there's no place for that. Who gives a shit?
No. Who was the wrestler that they used to call Miss?
It was Mickey James, but they called her Piggy James.
Piggy James. That's right. It reminded me of that, which was it's just insulting and degrading to women. And
like super bad, super bad.
And here's also the deal with the whole like. I get it. Wrestling does this from time to time. It plays up on aspects of reality and does, it swerves you. It swerves your emotions. But I really don't like when they play upon the emotion of a wrestler maybe having to retire or like a career-ending injury, which they were doing. I think it actually takes it a little too far. Because
it cheapens it. It really cheapens it.
And when you've asked like for so many years, you pretended that this thing was so real. And so when then people, start realizing that it isn't, and kayfabe dies. And so then you're asking them to like invest in like these guys like Daniel Bryan and Edge and so many guys that have had their careers cut short. You're asking them Corey Graves. You're asking them to invest, their emotions into like this actual real thing, and for us to respect that real thing and the athleticism of that.
Yep.
Exactly. When you do this, it just, well, you don't expect that next time. You kind of fuck us, like, and you fuck yourselves, WWE, when you do that. Because when it happens for real, now we're all going to be like, is this another word?
Exactly. Can't have it's like, well, I don't fucking know, It's
just insensitive. It's just not a smart thing for them to be playing with. They can play with a lot of other shit. They got the fucking world to play with. Don't play with that one. Like, that's just one of those things I think should be just a little bit off limits.
I agree.
But at the end of the day, Raw was an actual pretty damn good show. I rank it a B. Are you about there?
Yeah, I'm right about there as well. I thought it was fantastic, and and it just makes it like Raw by comparison was just so much better than SmackDown.
Yeah, we got a B to a D, somewhere around in that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big fucking drop off.
One of the things, of course, at the end of the show was Roman came out, pretty much without saying a word, challenged KO. He wants that championship, and then Mick enforced a match that if Roman beats Kevin Owens next week, there'll be a 3-way at the Clash of Champions.
Yes.
For some reason, I don't think that match changes from Seth KO. I
don't think it does either. I think that they're
Jericho
trying to add some drama into the situation.
I think Jericho fucks Roman for KO, setting up a Roman Jericho feud, which would be probably pretty fun, honestly.
Or at least a Roman Jericho match. Doesn't have to be a full-on feud, but at least a match at Clash of Champions.
Which would be cool. I would totally be into that.
I would be fine with it.
And it'll be better. That pay-per-view is already better with the matches that have been announced, and I think it's only 2, than probably this pay-per-view will be. Backlash is not looking very strong, Duncan. Do you agree?
How do you make 5 matches last 3 hours?
3 hours. I
understand you do a 10-minute recap on all of them, but goddamn.
Have they said they're doing it as a 3-hour show?
That's what a pay-per-view is. Pay-per-views are 3 hours.
I was thinking that they might do it like they've done, I forgot what they call them. They did those 2-hour ones that were like the super like stripped down ones. Weren't those 2 hours?
Yeah, they were, but I don't think they're going to do that.
You don't think that's like
do that?
No, I agree with you, but when I saw 5 matches, I'm like, well, there's no way there's no way. They have to add at least 2 matches to make this, right? I guess you can add one.
Well, maybe they'll add something on the pre-show. Like maybe during the pre-show they'll add a match. But there will still be a pre-show.
Yeah, there's still going to be a pre-show with it'll be Nia Jax in a squash match. It'll be that's wrong.
No, it won't.
Yeah, it's wrong. My bad.
But the real thing to consider, like if they're selling tickets, like they're not going to sell tickets for a 2-hour show.
Good point. I just don't know.
Not on a Sunday and market it as a pay-per-view. They're just like, they can't.
So we can at least then predict the 5 matches that do exist. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, we should do that real quick.
We'll start at the bottom of the list. Number 5, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. Me to go first, or you want to go first?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to you? Because I think I'm going to throw you a little swerve here. And I'm not going to say I want this person to win. I think that it's the wrong decision. But based on what I saw tonight, I think Ziggler is taking that match.
I think he is as well.
I think he's taking that belt. I think it's the only way. They need to do something for Ziggler to fucking stick around and be somewhat relevant.
Exactly.
And Miz has had a great run that is is only probably going to get better. Like, I think he's going to be pushed towards the main event scene after this.
Again.
Yeah. So we both.
I mean, I think they would almost have to, but at the same time, really based on Miz playing up the whole essentially coward aspect of things.
And he's been one of the most interesting parts of SmackDown since it's the brand split.
Yeah, exactly. I think that Miz takes it.
But no, you're still saying though with the Miz Ziggler match.
I say Ziggler.
Okay, yeah. We're on the same page. We got it.
Yeah.
What do you think of then match number 4, Orton Wyatt?
I think that there's you have to have Bray Wyatt win that match,
and that's what we said earlier in the show. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. If they go with Orton, goodbye Bray Wyatt. Just take him off TV. Just
don't even bother anymore.
Just leave. Yeah, leave it alone. Leave him alone. It's sad, but maybe he just disappears. Maybe you can salvage him in 6-9 months if you bring him back or something. I don't know. Maybe, but there's so much damage done at that point. And Orton just lost to Lesnar, so you've kind of got this out that he might still not be completely right after the beating that he took from Brock Lesnar. Even if they did that, I'd be okay if Bray Wyatt won.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just have to. It doesn't do Randy Orton any good to win that match.
It's probably not going to be a very good match. Bray can put on a great match. Randy can put on an okay match. It's going to be an okay match.
There's not going to be, there's not going to be any great matches on this card.
No, you're right. I guess it would be the next match would be for the tag team championship, the finals of the tournament. And now we've got, as of tonight on SmackDown, we've got American Alpha that advanced versus Heath Slater and Rhino. And I think, we're both picking the same thing.
I think we're both going to say the same thing, but I also think that, especially based on the fact that you saw the Usos heel turn tonight and you saw them attack American Alpha, I think that's going to be the out for Rhino and Heath Slater to win,
and for Heath to get his contract, and so on and so forth.
And then next month, American Alpha takes the rematch,
and then we probably get a Heath Rhino feud.
Yeah,
which would be fine. That would actually be perfectly fine.
Right, exactly. That would be fine.
The match that we can care about less on this card, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi, Natalya, and Nikki Bella. This is an elimination match.
Yeah.
So is that basically, that's just every time someone gets pinned, there's someone out, right?
Exactly. It's an elimination chamber without the chamber.
Perfect. I think again we're probably going to pick the same. I have 2 picks on this one. Obviously have to pick one. My second pick on it, who I'm not picking, would be Alexa Bliss, but I say that Becky Lynch is taking the belt.
I think she is too. Because I could see you maybe doing a swerve and having Natalya take it.
Oh, please don't.
I know. I mean,
Carmella and Nikki Bella have a feud thing going on. I don't know. I mean, I guess Natalya kind of has a thing going on.
You don't need to involve the belt in that feud, though.
No, you don't. But Natalya and Becky, I guess, kind of have a thing going. And do Alexa? Alexa, Naomi. I don't think they really have a thing going on.
No, they don't.
So yeah,
and neither of them are good enough to really,
That's who do you want as your first women's champion of the new belt in SmackDown? You've got
exactly, and I think it's got to be Becky Lynch because, dude, if it's Nikki Bella, then it's the same shit. You know what I mean? It might as well have the butterfly on it.
Exactly. And then, of course, our main event. Dean Ambrose, champion, versus AJ Styles. Now, This is the only one that I think actually I do sort of still have a bit of trepidation guessing. But I do keep going a little bit back and forth with. But I think we mentioned earlier in the show, or if we didn't, we mentioned it just to ourselves earlier in the night. I'm going to put the money on AJ.
I'm putting the money on AJ as well. Like, that's my bet. I just don't see Dean being a long-term champion. And I also think that he's not a convincing champion.
No, he's not.
And also, I'm just going to lay this out there. You can't have AJ Styles lose to Dean Ambrose after he beat John Cena.
That is a really good point. That is an excellent point, my friend.
Like, it's like, hang on. Not his first feud back, you know what I mean? Like,
no, it wouldn't make sense.
It doesn't feel right.
I can see them maybe throwing some sort of bullshit at us, and then they stretch it to another pay-per-view.
Right, that old chestnut, of course.
But for some reason, I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to bite the bullet, and we will rejoice when AJ is champion, because it means ultimately that does mean things have changed a little bit, and that Vince has maybe grown up a little bit.
Yeah, and it'll also mean that, like, you know that if AJ can have a great match with anybody. Correct. So you know that if AJ is champion, that there are great matches to be had.
Without a doubt. Well, dude, I think that's it. I think we did a perfectly adequate show tonight. I mean,
I think that's our motto, is perfectly adequate in every way.
Perfectly adequate in every way. It was damn better than fucking Smackdown, I hope. And
oh man,
and I hope
it'd be hard not to be.
I hope that this Sunday's pay-per-view is at least a little bit more put together. Like, even
I really hope that over the next 5 days that they are like, okay, we really fucking bit the bullet on that one, so let's go ahead and try and make this better.
We kind of fucked that one up, so
because they really did.
They really did. They really did. Do you want to get out of here, man?
I think it's time.
Cool. I got some music to take us out of here. This is the real winner of the WWE draft. This is Mr. Slater's theme song himself. Yeah. It's actually pretty good. I actually like it.
It's funny because it's gone from 3-man band to 2-man band to 1-man band.
Exactly. Dude, Duncan, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We'll figure it out for next week. We'll probably end up doing another Tuesday show. Who knows? See how our week goes. But once again,
we'll see what kind of shenanigans we have for you on Sunday.
Thanks again for listening to Oh No Wrestling. We'll see you next week. And just, you know where all the places to like us. We're on that Facebook. Get in that group. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in the group. I mean, that shit's on fire for only being like, a few dozen people in there. So,
no kidding.
Get in there. Tell your friends, if they're wrestling fans, about this show and about our Facebooks and all that stuff. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Drink it in, man.
Drink it in, man.